Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is by any means. There go to Cash App, $ Dean by any means. There go to PayPal at Dean by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated. Hey, you right there, listening right there. Please don't be an eavesdropper. If you ain't gonna send no money to the Cash App but donate to the channel, please don't be eavesdropping. Y'all getting this good cook. Y'all already know. Terence Crawford ticket sales is underwhelming, y'all. Unfortunately for Terence Crawford, people were saying this is the best fight card ever and just a bunch of different things. This is a great card, but I don't think it's the best fight card ever or whatever. But with that being said, Terence Crawford ticket sales is underwhelming. And the biggest myth of why Terence Crawford shouldn't fight Jaron Ennis is because everybody keeps saying boots don't bring nothing to the table. Boots don't bring nothing to the table. Well, what it looks like is Jaron Ennis is going to do if just as well or even better than Terence Crawford is doing selling by itself. Now, Terence Crawford last fight where Errol Spence Jr., y'all know, did 700K pay-per-views. And then now we starting to see that success was mostly because of Errol Spence, like we knew prior to that. So I just need all of these myths to be dispelled, that Jaron Ennis is not a ticket seller, that don't nobody know who he is, that he don't bring nothing to Terence Crawford. What I can say is he brings more to Terence Crawford than Terence Crawford could bring to himself with a no-name fighter like Madrimov. He got the Saudi Arabians behind him. He got a stack undercard. They in LA, and the tickets, no reason why the ticket sales should still be underwhelming. It is August 1st, people. They fight in 2 days. So whatever they ain't sell, you got to hope they doing on the walk up. But by today, you know how successful the at least the live gate gonna be or not. They have a good idea about the estimate. And I didn't want to have to make this video, but y'all ran with so many narratives about Jaron Ennis not being able to sell. Don't nobody know what he is. What I do know, y'all, if Terence Crawford fights Jaron Ennis, that'll be a bigger payday for him than anybody else y'all can name. If it's not Errol Spence Jr. a second time and it's not Canelo-Alvarez, then he does offer a lot to the table. And y'all need to apologize to Jaron Ennis because Jaron Ennis was very successful in Philadelphia. Yeah, Dean was on, Dean had floor seats. I was ringside, you dig what I'm saying? But like, we going to leave that at what it is. Yeah, I mean, Philly came out there and supported Jaron Ennis. And it's going to be even better than next time because that was his first time being back there. So you already know it. Once the word get out of how successful it was, the whole nine, you can expect an even bigger live gate the next time. And then if you add Terence Crawford, nobody is convincing me that Jaron Ennis is not Terence Crawford's biggest payday besides Errol Spence and the Canelo fight that ain't going to never happen. So I just need Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford fans to stop making those excuses. Just say you don't want to fight Jaron, period, because it's too big of a risk. But all y'all talking about this risk-reward thing, oh, no, it's definitely a reward. And honestly, Turki out of Leak Sheik, he feel the same way Dean feel, y'all. It is no different. He feel exactly the way I feel. That's why that's the guy he wants Terence Crawford to fight. That's why that's the guy that he's willing to put his money behind to make that fight. His words, not mine, y'all. So before you get mad at me or be like, Dean, come on, I don't want to hear it, man. I'm not going to let y'all make narratives to fit y'all narrative. When Keith Thurman and all them was doing this to Bud Crawford, y'all had a problem. When Keith Thurman was saying, what do Bud bring to the table? Why would I fight him? I got bigger fish to fry. Y'all had a serious problem with that. Y'all had a serious problem with that because y'all knew how good Terence Crawford was. Y'all known the things Terence Crawford accomplished. And y'all understood it from that standpoint. Then they get flipped around. Now Terence Crawford is Keith Thurman and Jaron Ennis is Terence Crawford. And for somehow Terence Crawford fans don't understand that. When Terence Crawford himself said, oh, yeah, I don't got no respect for Keith Thurman because when I wanted to fight him, he was making every excuse not to fight me. Now Terence Crawford is in the same position and using every excuse not to fight the man. And then I don't want to hear, well, he's at 154. Well, Jaron Ennis said he would fight him at 154 if that's what Terence Crawford demands. So you got to go out the window with that narrative, too. You can't claim you love boxing, but you trying to make excuses about why guys, well, Dean, he's too old. He's at the end of his career. Well, then pack it up then. Put the gloves up and pack it up. You don't get to pick and choose, but I'm supposed to hold Canelo to that. Like Canelo's not on his back end. Oh yeah, y'all. Canelo got 20-something more fights than Terence Crawford. So he may be younger, but he got more wear and tear on his body though. So if Terence Crawford get a pass for not fighting Jaron Ennis, Caneloalvarez get a pass for not fighting Terence Crawford. It is the same thing. But I guess what, y'all? The gap between Terence Crawford, what he bring in monetary gain compared to what Canelo bring, compared to what Jaron Ennis would bring to Terence Crawford is mountains. I mean, it's Mount Everest, actually. Terence Crawford is nowhere near Canelo Alvarez when it comes to monetary. But Jaron Ennis is definitely close to Terence Crawford when it comes to monetary. And he just proved it in Philadelphia. I was in the building. Great production. It was a great event. Wasn't no violence, wasn't nothing. And being in Philly, you never know how stuff going to go. But it was a great thing. What I know and why I say that, it's no way you tell me you put that fight on the East Coast and it don't do 18,000 people in the building, $15-16 million live gate, anywhere between $15 to $24 million live gate. There's no way y'all tell me it don't do that. Because the whole Philly, the whole East Coast, we going to pop out for Jaron, and all we would need is the Midwest to do the same thing for Terence Crawford, and there you go. And it's much easier to get to the East Coast. That's another thing. Easier to travel. The whole nine, not as expensive as places like Los Angeles and Las Vegas, blah. I mean, unless you're going to put it in New York. But I don't even know why you would want to do that. I know Terence Crawford. And the thing is, y'all, people not going to like me saying this, but I think Terence Crawford should fight Jaron Ennis in Philly because that way I know what it's going to do. Oh, it's going to do numbers guaranteed because now you got half of Philly by itself is just going to fill up the stadium by itself. So you know it's going to be packed to capacity if you put it in Philadelphia for sure at the Wells Fargo, guaranteed. And Terence Crawford should give us a fight on the East Coast. I'm not sure when was the last time he fought over here, but Terence Crawford should give us a fight on the East Coast, especially against another black fighter because we east of the Mississippi. And everybody know most of the black population in America is where? On the East Coast of the United States. So if you understand logistics, you understand business, you understand what you watching and what you seeing, I just need y'all to stop running with that narrative that Jaron don't bring nothing to the table because that is not true. And that's getting dispelled literally right now at this very, very moment. So I just need y'all to keep it 100, man, and stop the hating and stop talking about, sorry, y'all got just distracted a little bit. Yeah, just stop the hate, man, and stop talking about what Jaron don't bring to the table and talk about what he does. Y'all need to stop talking against the fight and start bigging the fight up. Because if you really care about Terence Crawford, if you really think that that's really your guy, his biggest payday, what he said that he's looking for, is between Errol Spence and Jaron Ennis at this point because ain't nobody paying for that. Canelo don't have no interest in fighting him right now. As we see how Canelo Alvarez is moving. So I just need y'all to be honest with yourselves and talk about, and then like I said, also Jaron Ennis brings the most credibility as far as legacy-wise. He's not going to get more credit for beating nobody than he would get for beating a Jaron Ennis. He don't get more credit than for nobody besides that. None of the champions he could fight, all he would get is just being another champion, but he wouldn't get more credit for it though. Not at all. He wouldn't get more credit for it at all. It would just be another champion. He beat Jaron Ennis, his legacy goes up dramatically because he also beat the guy that was in his age that was the best around those weight classes, and he beat the next generation guy that was the best around those weight classes. And we all know who that is, man. Can we stop fronting and acting like we don't know what's going on? Just because you don't like it, which I don't understand. If you really love Terence Crawford, why wouldn't you want to see him put all the stop to this Jaron Ennis noise? Put the beats on Jaron Ennis and get a big check to do it. He could still go be undisputed at 154. Terence Crawford said Terence Crawford don't look like he trying to slow down anytime soon. Terence Crawford looked like one of them guys to me that talk about not rumbling, that talk about retiring, but he already said once he leave, he not coming back. And I don't see Terence Crawford just leaving, especially with this fight not doing as well as he would like it to do. I think he still will have a chip on his shoulder and things to prove like that. Y'all still don't get it. I did all that to Errol Spence and y'all still ain't buying. Y'all still ain't in the building. Y'all still ain't supporting. Okay, watch this. I just think if Terence Crawford beat Jaron Ennis, that'll truly, I think this is a fight they both need. I think Jaron Ennis needed to get the credit he deserves, and I think Terence Crawford need this to put the icing on the cake on his legacy. That's just me, though. You could disagree, but y'all already know what this is, right? Deem, by, any means, and I'll holla at y'all.